We're going to extend our program a little bit this time. We're going to start thinking about file names and how our program runs. The idea behind what I'm doing is, because I've now got a way of testing things, maybe I can do a survey and find out what people like. So imagine we went to a fish and chip shop and we could, or we were asked what our favourite food was, and we had several options like, do you like chips? Or do you like fish? Or do you like pie? And we want to find out from all the customers who come in what they want. So we're going to perform a little survey. And we're going to take the user's name as well for the survey. So let's try to handle that program. We've got really all we need here to help us do the survey. We just need to change one or two things. So rather than edit this program, what I'm going to do is choose File and New. This time I'm not going to take you through starting up and telling you where to save your files. You should be capable of that now. The first thing I'm going to do is give it a file name. I know a lot of people just write their program and then give it a file name, which is okay, but I like to name my files as soon as I start opening them up. So what I'm going to do is File, Save As. I should be in the correct folder in my Python files. My first, my second, my third, they don't really tell me what I am doing, so I'm going to name my file Chip Shop Survey, and this is my first attempt, so I'm going to call it Chip Shop Survey 1.py. So if I sort of improve my program or change my program later on, maybe I'll call it Chip Shop 2, Chip Shop 3, and so on. So here we go, my new program. So let's get the name from the person. So name equals raw underscore input. Please enter your name. We should be okay with that now. Please enter your name. Leave a space afterwards. And I'm not going to give them a welcome message at the moment. I'm just going to ask them for their name. What I am going to do is use their name to be sort of personal. So, favourite food. I'm using a new variable now called favourite food. Notice when I made my variable, this is like sport or answer or name, it's just a variable and it's named after what I want to find out, which is a favourite food, either being chips, pie or fish. I did not have favourite space food, that will not be allowed. I did not also have favourite food all in lowercase. That would be allowed, but it's not very easy to read when we have longer words. So what I did was use the favourite food, 2 words, and sort of join them together with every word after the first one having a capital letter. So if I wanted to be my favourite food, I would start off with my, but because that's a new word, I will have that as my favourite food. No spaces, but each word afterwards would be capitalised. There is another way of doing it, and it's down to preference. Maybe I could have my underscore favourite food, and that way I could keep all lowercase. That would be okay, but my preference is to have just a straightforward capital letter for each new word. But in this one, I just want it to be called my or favourite food rather than my favourite food. So I've called my variable favourite food. Now, remember we need to get the answer from the user. So we're going to be doing another raw underscore input, and we're going to give them a message with the options. Please enter your favourite from. Now we're going to ask for chips, fish or pie. So I might say from chips, and I'm going to give them a hint there with C for chips, fish. Give them a hint, I want them to type in an F or pie, and type in a pie. Okay, so it's not a question. I'm not asking what is your favourite food. Please enter your favourite from chips, fish or pie. So that's good enough for me. Just put a colon at the end for neatness and a space. And there's my question. If you need to see more, then you can stretch your window so that you can see the whole line. So there we go. So I'm going to work out whether they typed in chips, whether they typed in fish, or whether they typed in pie, using the same structure here. So if, elif, and else. And there's going to be a little bit of a difference, which I will explain shortly. So first of all, let's print out what they chose. So if favorite food, that's my variable, which now holds whether they typed in C, F or P. Favorite food is equal to C, so they chose chips. Remember, we started with an if, so we need a colon at the end, and press enter, it will indent. And I can write out print and give them a suitable message. You chose chips. Okay, now I'm going to check whether they chose fish. So I'm not just going to use an else, because remember when we used else here, it was if they hadn't typed anything I expected them to type. So yes was there, which was the true part. No was there, which was an alternate part, and if they didn't type yes or no, it ran the third line, the else part. So I'm going to use that structure as well. So if favorite food is equal to F for fish. Now, because this is an elif, again, I need a colon at the end, which will indent. And notice that I had to put this if and elif at the same level in my program, right on the very first column of my file. So elif print you chose fish. And what I'm going to do now, I need to go back to the start of the line. I'm going to have yet another elif statement. So what I'm going to do is have an elif statement, an if, an elif for every option I want to test for. So I wanted an if to begin with. I can't begin with elif, I must begin with if. So the first one was if they chose chips. Elif, they chose fish. So I'm going to have another one now, which is elif, the favorite food is equal to P or pie. And then I need a colon at the end of that line because I've got an elif statement in orange. I need a colon. That is a must. If you don't, your program will not work. And press enter. Print you chose pie. Now back to the start of the line for the last one. Now I've got all my three options chosen. So I had chips, fish or pie. So maybe they either spelt something incorrectly, maybe they put a capital C or a capital F, or maybe they chose sausage, which isn't in my list and I'm not checking for. So if they didn't choose a C or an F or a P, I've got another option. I've got a default option which is else with I'm not going to check what they typed, so there's no words after the else. I'm just going to give them a print statement. Print, we didn't have that option. And that's my program. So now I've got a small survey which asks for the name. Please enter your favourite food from chips, fish or pie. So I'm giving them an option on the what we call the command line in the shell. And then we read in what they chose. Now they could have written the word chips. If they did, where do you think it's going to go? If they chose C, where do you think it's going to go? Well, let's run the program and see. So let's close the shell, because we know it will open up when we save our work. So F5 to run my program. And there we go. Please enter your name. Let's stick with Fred. Please enter your favourite food from chips, fish or pie. Okay, so let's put it to one side so that we can see what's happening. So I'm going to choose chips with lowercase c. You chose chips. Program ended. So let's go back to my program, run it again. Please enter your name, Fred. Please enter your favourite from chips, fish or pie. I'll choose F this time. You chose fish. Works very nicely. Go back to my program, run it again. Please enter your name, Fred. We're going to test pie this time, so P. You chose pie. Excellent. One more time. Well, probably a few more times actually. We've got quite a lot to test here. Please enter your name, Fred. This time I'm going to choose sausage. What's the problem this time? We had chips, fish or pie. We had no sausage. So let's see what happens. We didn't have that option. So it's all working nicely. Let's just run it again and show you. Please enter your name, Fred. If I chose chips, what do you think it's going to print out? Is it going to choose is it going to print we chose chips, or is it going to print out we didn't have that option? It's going to print out we didn't have that option. Why is it doing that? Okay, so that was sort of okay. It's working, it's nice, but every time I wanted to try another option, I had to restart the program. I had to come back into my program and press F5 and then answer it again. Maybe I don't want to do that. Maybe I want to just keep the program running and just keep asking different questions, as you probably would do in a survey. And we're gonna have a look at that next. So I'm going to close my shell. And I'm also going to close any previous programs I had open. Let's save it here. So, how am I going to do this? I'm going to keep looping around, keep asking the question. So I'm going to say, or want to say, please enter your favourite food from chips, fish or pie for each different user that I ask, and then we can print out a message on what they've chosen. So when the first person's done it, I want the second person to do it. I want them to enter their name and then choose their favourite food. And then the third person, I want them to enter their name, and I'm going to keep looping and looping and looping round doing this forever, absolutely forever. So I need a brand new statement in Python, and I'm going to put it right at the very top of my program. It doesn't always need to be at the top of the program. It will be anywhere in your program. But it is called while. And notice I typed while and it turned orange, telling me it was a keyword. And I'm just going to say forever. And the way to say forever at the moment with this loop is using a keyword called true. While true. And at the end, like the if, like the elif, and like the else, I need to put a colon. If I don't, the program will not work. Now remember what happened when I put a colon there? It indented the next line 4 spaces. when I put a colon there, it indented the line 4 spaces. And actually, if I'd have started my program writing while true colon, the next line would have appeared 4 spaces in. But it hasn't, because I typed all of this first. So what I really want to do is make all of this code here 4 spaces in. Now I could go back and I could type 1, 2, 3, 4, do this for every line of code, but that might be quite a challenge. There is a quick way of doing it. So let me put that back to where it was. If I highlight all of my code and then go to the format menu, I can choose to either indent it or dedent, which means take the indent out. There's a lot more things that I can do, but mainly these two are the most useful thing that we'll find in the format menu, followed by the next two. But we won't be using these for quite a while yet. So what I want to do is indent the region, and when I press that, notice what the keyboard shortcut is as well. Control J, control the right square bracket. Sorry, not Control J. If I press indent region, then everything gets pushed over 4 spaces that I've selected, and that is now correct. So let's see what we've done to our program. So if I save it and run it, please enter your name, Fred. Please enter your favourite from chips, fish or pie. Let's do chips. You chose chips. Notice what's happening now. My program did not end. It looped back round to this line here. So it did that line, checked what we had. We chose chips. Once we chose chips, it jumped all the way back down to here, which would normally be the end of the program, but we loop, because of this while, back up to here, and then it asks for another name. So if I type in Susan, press enter your favourite from chips, fish or pie. This time I'm going to choose F. Again, this time it's asked for the name, it's asked for the favourite food, it's checked, was it chips? No. So it checked this one, is it fish? Yes. So it printed fish, and then came down to this part, which is the end of our program normally, but we are in a loop, so it looped back round and it's asking for another name. Let's type in another name, and let's do this one. Let's put an option that wasn't on there. Joe, what is your favourite? I like whale. Let's write the whole word whale. We didn't have that option. Got to here, loop back round and ask for the name again. So that is quite a challenge for you to do. It is writing a simple survey like that. Perhaps you can extend your options by maybe having sausage. So for example, we could have elif. Oh, I've got a small mistake there. It needs to be at the same level as the previous one. There we go. Elif favorite food is equal to sausage, colon, print you chose sausage. Okay, so that's amended my program. I've given it another option. The only problem that I have with my program at the moment is that I didn't say up here that they could choose sausage. I've just got chips, fish or pie. So if I want to put in sausage, maybe I can put a comma, type sausage, and give them a clue to what they've got to type in, S. There we go. And I've changed it, adding yet another option. So save my program and run it. Please enter your name, Fred. Please enter from chips, fish, sausage or pie. So I'm going to choose sausage. You chose sausage. Please enter your name. Looping back round. Okay, so your turn now. Can you add extra elif statements with different food types? And can you amend your query line, your prompt line? Let's call this a prompt, shall we? Because you're prompting the user to type something in to include the food type that you want. let's say they want to choose chicken. How would you do that? So that's quite a challenge for you to manage. So in the next one, we're going to take a look at this while true, which isn't very good. That just means forever. Maybe we don't want to do the survey forever. Maybe we want to stop the survey after we've had 10 people answer the question. And we're going to start looking at numbers as well as strings or words.